Mortal Kombat has over 80 characters on its roster, but only a handful of them have ever truly mattered. From a Spectre that can't stay dead, to a Hollywood actor who was secretly powerful enough to punch a god, to a sorcerer who got his entire kit from an arcade machine running out of memory. These 8 fighters shaped every tournament, every storyline, and every conversation this franchise has ever had. Today, we're breaking down the best fighters in Mortal Kombat, and exactly what makes each of them undeniable. Starting with the one character the developers themselves call the face of the franchise, Scorpion. Here's the thing about Scorpion, he is technically a palette swap. The original MK team was so limited on time and resources that when they needed more fighters, John Tobias just took Sub-Zero, changed the color to yellow, and called it a day. Same model, same animations, 0 unique assets, and somehow that copy became more iconic than the original. Before you chalk that up to marketing or nostalgia, hear me out, because the gap between what Scorpion is on paper and what he became in the lore is one of the most interesting stories in fighting game history. Scorpion's real name is Hanzo Hasashi, and he was the greatest warrior of the Shirai Ryu clan. He had a family, he had a code. He was not a villain. Then Quan Chi, a sorcerer working in the shadows, massacred the entire Shirai Ryu clan, his men, his wife, his children, and framed Bi-Han, the Lin Kuei assassin who would become Sub-Zero for the murders. Hanzo tracked down Bi-Han, killed him, and then died shortly after. The Elder Gods offered him resurrection. He accepted, and that's where things get complicated, because here's where it gets weird. Scorpion didn't come back as a hero looking for justice. He came back as a Hellfire Spectre with one directive: kill Sub-Zero. For decades of in-universe time, he hunted the wrong man. He killed Bi-Han, not knowing Bi-Han was actually innocent of the massacre. He spent his entire afterlife pursuing a vendetta built on a lie Quan Chi planted. And the kicker? Even after he learned the truth, which didn't happen until MK4, the rage didn't just vanish. Scorpion dragged Quan Chi into hell with him, and even that wasn't the end of it. In MKX, restored to his human form as Hanzo, he rebuilt the Shirai Ryu from nothing, trained Kenshi's son Takeda as a personal student, and eventually cut Quan Chi's head off, his ultimate act of vengeance. But the timing was wrong. Killing Quan Chi at that exact moment prevented a curse reversal that could have saved Liu Kang, Kung Lao, Kitana, and the rest of the fallen heroes still trapped as revenants. His greatest victory cost everyone else enormously. In MK11, Hanzo dies accepting that cycle of destruction had to end. His final words to his past self, a past self who is seconds from making the same mistakes he made, are, "I let go my rage, and it saved me. To save yourself, you must do the same." He died for it, literally, stabbed by D'Vorah, bleeding out, telling himself to be better. That's the lore case. But the gameplay case for Scorpion is just as strong, and it starts with one word: toasty. Get Over Here was never scripted. Ed Boon voiced it himself because MK had zero budget for professional voice acting. Boon had been recording yells for arcade games and pinball machines where players just scream ridiculous things during gameplay. He thought it would be funny to have Scorpion yell something when throwing his spear. He improvised it in a single session. That line became so embedded in gaming culture that Boon earned a Guinness World Record in 2010 for longest serving video game voice actor for that one phrase, repeated across 18 years and a dozen games. The toasty fatality. Scorpion rips off his own mask, reveals a flaming skull underneath, and breathes hellfire directly into the opponent's face until they're a skeleton, was ranked the second greatest fatality in MK history by IGN. It was also the move that turned Scorpion from a palette swap into a mascot. Nobody who saw that fatality for the first time forgot it. Competitively, Scorpion sits in a fascinating contradiction. He's the most played character across online, ranked in almost every MK game, and competitive analysts calculated that he and Sub-Zero are tied for the most top-tier placements in franchise history, 5 times each. But he's rarely the character winning EVO. He's dominant in casual play, deeply respected in competitive circles, and universally recognized as MK's mascot. The NetherRealm Studios logo literally depicts him mid-throw. He is on every piece of promotional material, every box, every trailer. The 2023 MK1 reboot recast Scorpion entirely, now Kuai Liang beneath the mask instead of Hanzo, and the community debated it for months, which tells you everything about how much ownership fans feel over this character. But if Scorpion is the face of Mortal Kombat, there's one character who literally changed the entire gaming industry just by pulling a spine out through someone's neck.